But I've always been interested in some stats and comparison. So what I've done is I've gone through 15 other rugby league YouTubers' season predictions and have put a formula into judging on how accurate they were. So pretty much all in all, you're looking for the lowest score possible to win. Now before I show the ladder, I should make a bit of a disclaimer here that this is not for the purpose of poking fun at anybody if they have made bad predictions. This is purely just a sort of like researching into seeing what everybody's minds were in terms of their predictions, because some of the predictions that have been made have actually been across the board the same thought patterns that a lot of YouTubers had. Without further ado, let's show the ladder. Coming in first place with what I actually have seen to be a ridiculously good score with plus 22 was Sam Revel. You can very much see after first and second, you can really start to see the mean come in. So pretty much between 39 and 48. So pretty much like a 9-point difference is where about 13, 12 YouTubers all funnel themselves in. Now we go to me is the two key underliers when it comes to this ladder. It is the overestimating of the Manly Sea Eagles and the underestimating of the North Queensland Cowboys. So yeah, those are some of the anomalies that I have seen here. So pretty much here's the full ladder. So Sam Revel is pretty much the god of all predictions. So yeah, that's who you're supposed to be following in terms of your correct predictions. But yeah, this is the full ladder here. This is not meant to poke fun at anyone, but this is just purely just for statistical purposes. It's don't hindsight judge people, you know, because I mean, I put the Cowboys to come 15th, and I picked Manly to be the minor premiers. I've suffered enough.
No pressure, bro. Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Hope you're all doing really well. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. If you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. This is the Wobblin Sports channel, a special episode of the Wobblin Show. These are my 2023 NRL ladder predictions. Before I get stuck into it, just want to say hello to Jason Reeder, CJ Moxley, and Nick from Australia who are in the chat at the moment. Please leave your reactions, comments, and questions in the comments below. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for the support. Let's get stuck straight into it. Team 17 for 2023 are the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I whittled it down to two teams, and for me personally, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and the West Tigers over the past 2 years now, they have had a dreadful office. The office have pretty much earned them, bought them a wooden spoon. The St. George Illawarra Dragons are following down that same trajectory. The off-season recruitment has not been nice, but I so nearly didn't choose them to be the wooden spooners because that back line is still rather deadly, bro. But Anthony Griffin, ever since he's been there, it's just been toxic. It's been crazier with the office ever since. And for me, it's crazy to say this, but the Dragons, the St. George Illawarra Dragons, for the first time in their history, are going to be the wooden spooners. Moving on to who I think is going to finish 16th on the ladder. the Red Cliff Dolphins, the new kids on the block. The reason why I have the Dolphins one level above the St. George Illawarra Dragons, I think we should all look to round number 5 when the Dragons host the Dolphins. And that game, for me, is going to be a huge precursor as to who wins the wooden spoon. And right now, I think the Dolphins have the team on paper to cause an upset in round 5. And maybe it will be their first win ever, but I think they can do it against the Dragons down there at Wollongong. And that would just about be the nail in the coffin for the Dragons if all this does come to fruition. I also think that the Dolphins, they have the advantage of being unpredictable. They have the advantage of having a better coach and a much more nicer environment. I'm tipping the Dolphins to be one rung better than the St. George Illawarra Dragons in 2023. The following side, I have gone like this for the past 2 weeks now. A lot of these sides I've done it too with. But this side, on paper, they can make the top 8. But in the bottom 4, once again, the Newcastle Knights are going to find themselves down there at the bottom of the well, just about. Kalen Ponga is going to be missing the first round or 2. Adam O'Brien, I don't think he's going to last long. I don't think the Newcastle Knights are going to have a winning record after the first 6 or 7 weeks, and therefore I don't think there'll be any patience from the Newcastle Knights board and fans alike, in my opinion. And I think they're going to chop him, and I think that's just going to ruin their finals chances for 2023. On paper, though, they're still really good. They're really interesting, and I'm excited to see them go around. There are positives, but the way they played last year in front of their home fans, they had the team on paper to do it themselves last season. They couldn't do it. They've lost my trust, and I don't think they're going to get out of the bottom 4. Oh, but Jackson Hastings is going to be there. Jackson Hastings was a part of the West Tigers in 2022. Speaking of the West Tigers, I've got the West Tigers going up the ladder incrementally. They are going to be a better outfit in 2023, and I've got the West Tigers finishing in 14th to round out the bottom 4 sides of the ladder for 2023. My main concern with the West Tigers is the gelling of Luke Brooks and Adam Dewey. There's also a lot of uncertainty in the back line. Is Charlie Staines or is Dane Laurie going to be the fullback? Again, I think they've got more points in them. I think they're going to be a lot more prideful in the jersey in comparison to the Dragons that I've got as the wooden spooners. But the West Tigers, they have bought nicely, but it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to get going. And I think they could be in for a decent season. Yes, bottom 4 doesn't indicate decent, but compared to last year, I think Tigers fans will bloody take it. The next section, teams 9 through till 13. This is basically the no man's land 5. Before I get into it, I just want to cheekily have a look at everybody's comments. And what have we got? We got Nick. If Cowboys aren't top, he riots. Oh dear, all the poor Dragons, he says. ZTS, thank you very much for tuning in. Good shout, he says. It's them or the Titans. Oh, the Gold Coast Titans. Okay, then. Parenzo Vids is in the house. Hello, good sir. How are you? And what have we got here? ZTS says, think either way, the whole comp should be really close. That's exactly right. And CJ Moxley, Robert M., where you got the Broncos, Sam, because I believe we'll be up there in the 8 with the Cowboys. Well, I haven't mentioned them yet, have I? And CJ Moxley says, he thought this was a premiere. It's bloody live, mate. It's live. It's unscripted. Get your reactions in. Get your questions in, and I'll do the best that I effing will freaking can. Now, let's go into the No Man's Land 5 from 13th to 9th on the ladder. And starting with number 13, oh, man. I've got the Manly Sea Eagles in 13th position. I think Tom Trbojevic is going to be really good this season. But there is a lot of question marks on Josh Schuster, guys. A lot of question marks and a lot of proving that he has to do. Now, I cannot forget that last year in the first half of the season, Tom Turbo wasn't injured, and yet Manly were down thereabouts. Tom Turbo at a stage last season was not the answer. He was not doing the things that he needed to do whilst being injury free, let alone that. I cannot forget that the Manly Sea Eagles defense at least 4 times conceded 4 tries in the space of 10 minutes. Maybe it's 3 tries in the space of 10 minutes. And now they've signed Anthony Seibold to come in, who, well, we know his legacy he left behind at the Brisbane Broncos. He's going to be welcomed with open arms at Magic Round when that time comes about. But I just don't. I'm not convinced on their defense, and that's why I've got Manly down low. And usually Manly do go up and down, but I don't see them making the top 8 this year. And they have a very hard start to the season, let alone that, yeah, they don't travel a lot, but they take on the top 8 teams, a lot of them, twice this year. They have a difficult draw, Manly, and I think it's going to bite them fair square on the tip of the you-know-where. I'm going to go into team number 12 now. Team 12, I've chosen the New Zealand Warriors to finish over the top of the Manly Sea Eagles. Yes, I said before that the Tigers, they're going to need time to work things out, but the Warriors are back at home, and I am looking at that middle section of the 2023 draw where I think they can probably go on a 4-game winning streak and really put everybody on high alert. I've got the New Zealand Warriors finishing in 12th position. The back line, while you've still got a jigsaw puzzle it all together, it's a really good backline, or potentially could be a great backline. The concern for me, and the reason why I don't have them higher or making the top 8, is that forward pack. Yes, you've got AFB and Tohu Harris, and even to a degree Josh Curran, but it's a relatively inexperienced forward pack, or it's not a dominant, strong, fearsome forward pack like the Warriors should be. Let's shift off to number 11. Team 11 for 2023 are the Gold Coast Titans. And I cannot agree with people that say that the Titans are going to finish wooden spoon or in the bottom 4. I don't think that's happening, because if it does, the Titans may as well put up the white flag, put themselves in a cannon and shoot themselves into deep outer space, because that'll be it. That'll be just about the straw that breaks the camel's back, just about. And I think they're going to be a lot better than second last or last for a majority of this year, like they were last season. I've been watching their preseason training camp videos. The Titans look like they are making a very conservative effort in defense. And look, Kieran Foran should unlock David Fafita. Bo Fermor is going to have another season under his belt to work things out. I think there's points in them, but we've got to see them defensively. And I'm going to give the defensive hope to the Gold Coast Titans over the Manly Sea Eagles, over the New Zealand Warriors, because they've got the team on paper to make the 8. They just need to fix that one thing, whereas I think Manly have got a couple of different things that they need to fix. I've got the Gold Coast Titans finishing as high as 11th, shifting into 10th position, just missing out on the top 8. I've got the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. I think they are a season away from finals football, but they are going to be right there at the doorstep of finals in 2023. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, they've recruited Marnie, Kickow, but there's a little bit of conjecture at fullback. Is it going to be Avarillo? Is it going to be Perham? Aaron Schupp is also left, and also Josh Jackson retired. Yes, Viliami Kickout's been signed up, and you've still got Luke Thompson there, but Josh Jackson is a huge, great leader, was, and by right still is, but he's going to leave a massive hole. And Matt Burton, Kyle Flanagan, Josh Adokar, I don't know. I really want them to do it, but I don't know about the Bulldogs. I think they're one season away from returning to finals football. And who is the team that is going to just miss out on finals football? I do not mean to make them a meme like the West Tigers are finishing in 9th, but I think for the second year in a row, the Brisbane Broncos are going to be 9th. And it is a question on their forward pack, specifically their second rowers. And I need to see Katoni Staggs. I need to see a couple of other young players come through and really take things by the scruff of the neck. The Brisbane Broncos were exceptional in stages in 2022. They're going to be in the top 8, maybe with about 4 weeks to go. But they themselves have a bastard of a draw. They have a difficult start, but they have a real prick to end the season. They take on pretty much the top 6 of 2022 in their run to the finals. And I don't know if they're going to be good enough to get enough points in the bank to get them into the top 8 for 2023. No bias. I just think the baby Broncos, they're young adults and they're still going to be susceptible to mistakes. Brisbane Broncos are going to finish in 9th for me, in my opinion, in 2023. So let's move now into the top 8. But before I do, there's 47 comments. I'm not too sure if I can get through all of them. But look, we've got Proenzo. As Josh Schuster says, well, no, he lost 15 kilos. It's a statement made by him. Not yet, in my opinion. Nick from Australia, Proenzo Vids, CJ Moxley, Bosky, it's going off. The chat is going off. Thank you very much for the continuous support, guys. Now, let's get into my top 8 for 2023. And this is going to get really close. I think it's absolutely fascinating that a team like this is going to find themselves in a situation where they are not going to play in the final round. The Parramatta Eels, I think, are going to take a dip down the ladder. The Parramatta Eels have themselves a seriously difficult draw. And of all the teams playing in round 1, I think the Parramatta Eels need to win round 1 to get themselves off to a good start. Yeah, they've got a trip to Manly, and some would say that's a top 8 or even top 4 team taking on a bottom 8 team. So that should be an easy win, right? Well, no, it's not. I think Parramatta have a very difficult draw ahead of them. They take on the Panthers twice, the Storm twice, it's the Rabbitohs twice, the Cowboys twice. I think there's a massive hurdle for the Parramatta Eels to climb over, and I think they're going to do just enough. But it's going to be so fascinating to see what the Parramatta Eel fan base is going to be like in that final round of the home and away regular season, where they can't do anything. They do get the automatic 2 points, which is great. But what if they need 4 and against to make the top 8? It's going to be a wild watch to see if Parramatta Eels make the 8 or not, just based off that final round. So I've got the Parramatta Eels still just sneaking into the top 8 in 8th position. Number 7 for me on the 2023 NRL ladder are the Canberra Raiders. In my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions as well, the Canberra Raiders have the easiest draw in 2023. Their run to the final, sure, it does have a final round clash against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks that they could be susceptible to losing up at PointsBet Stadium. But the Canberra Raiders, bro, they've hired Michael Maguire and Josh Miller to be defensive contact coaches or just assistant coaches. I think they are both incredible acquisitions. We've got Trey Mooney that should by and large debut and make jersey 13 his own. And we've also got Matt Timiku and Xavier Savage that are going to have a fair dinkum year. More so Xavier Savage, who's going to have more of a fair dinkum crack at an entire season of first grade rugby league. So I've got the Raiders getting a few more wins over the Parramatta Eels because I think they have a nicer draw. Now, moving into team number 6, and you don't think that this side is going to play finals football in Craig Bellamy's final season? Come on now, man. The Melbourne Storm, while they are not going to be as creative in attack, in my opinion, they are going to find themselves in a position where they will host a home final, whether that be top 4 if I'm wrong, or whether I'm right and it's 5th or 6th hosting 7th or 8th. The Melbourne Storm are going to be playing finals football. They are going to have a game at Amy Park, in my opinion. Craig Bellamy's last season, they're going to do something. I got this feeling that we're all going back again on the Melbourne Storm. Oh, this is the year they fall down. And, seeing that they're at 6th on my ladder suggests that they are. But this is a difficult top 8 to make. And the Melbourne Storm, they're very easily going to be a top 6 contender in 2023. The reason why I don't have them in the top 4, the Bromwich brothers and Kofusi, they are massive losses. And Kenny Bromwich, he has 5'8" attributes to him. I think he's not rated enough in his ball playing department. He even puts grubber kicks in from time to time for his winger to score off of. And Tarek Sims is filling that void. And I don't know if Tarek Sims can create enough points for him. Ryan Papenhuyzen looks like he's going to miss the first couple of rounds of the season. The Melbourne Storm, I think they're not going to make the top 4 this year, but they will host a home final come finals time in 2023. Shifting to team number 5. Who's it going to be? I'm going to go the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks to finish in 5th position. Now, the reason why I don't have them inside of the top 4 is because the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, I don't want to put too much disrespect on them, but they themselves had a soft draw towards the end of 2022, and the Sharkies defensively fell away. Yeah, you can say fatigue rocked them, but I can't forget a game that they had against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs where they should have absolutely smashed them. And then the way that they fell out of favor, the Cowboys got them, fatigued them, they dropped out. But I think the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, they're going to just miss out on finals football, and they're going to finish in 5th position. Who's going to be in the top 4 on my ladder in 2023? Drum roll, starting with number 4, the South Sydney Rabbitohs are going to be in 4th position in 2023. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, they finished in 7th position, and I very nearly decided to not have them inside the top 4 because they've lost Mark Nichols, and just off the top of the dome, they really haven't made any other acquisitions, and they haven't lost anybody else. So it's by and large more of the same team, but they really need to start off defensively well in 2023. But boy, howdy, if it all clicks, they got the attack to score 90 points against somebody this season. They'll put an absolute hammering on them. Now shifting off to team number 3. Well, I decided to not be biased and give you a fair income answer. I've got the North Queensland Cowboys coming in 3rd position. I think they are going to be so good to watch this season. I think they are going to evolve without any problems in the world. And you look at the comments that Reece Robson made, where he's going to create himself a kicking game. I think the North Queensland Cowboys, their premiership window is busted wide open for the next few seasons, bro. And they've got the depth, they've got the talent to go extremely deep and extremely high up on that ladder. Again, there's no reason why they can't. The only thing, and I'll go into this in another episode, but you remember 2017 and then you remember 2018. Let's not have 2018 happen again. Shifting off into the team that I think will finish in 2nd position On the ladder, I've got the Sydney Roosters finishing on second position on the 2023 NRL ladder. James Tedesco could be the only man that runs out for a game this year. And he'll take on 13 men, and he'll still win. James Tedesco is an incredible talent, bro. But he's now got Brandon Smith with him, and a lot of people are doubting him. But I'm going to trust that Brandon Smith doesn't crocodile roll tackle anybody this year. And I think he's going to have himself a good year. Could be Jared Waerea-Hargreaves last season as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But the Roosters are very much a premiership force in 2023. And my minor premiers for 2023, the Penrith Panthers. Are you joking? This club, are you freaking joking, bro? Mitch Kenny is going to fill up Api Coruscant's hooker position, and coming off the bench is going to be Sonny Luke. That is a deadly hooker combo. And then you've got Luke Garner, who's going to explode. I hope he does, bro. Penrith Panthers are going to be the minor premiers. They aren't going to take a backward step, bro. Maybe they might have one more loss in 2023, but that would equal to 3 losses for the entire year. Turn it up, please. Now, let's go into what the finals would look like then on my ladder. Friday night football would be Penrith versus South Sydney at Bluebet Stadium. At Allianz Stadium the next afternoon on Saturday, it'd be the Eastern Suburbs versus the North Queensland Cowboys. Gee whiz, I might be making myself a trip back down to Allianz or Moore Park, as it were, if that were to friggin' occur. Also, it'd be either the Cronulla Sharks versus the Parramatta Eels at PointsBet Stadium on the Saturday night, or it would be Amy Park, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. And then it'd be a mixture of the two. So that would be my final series for 2023. And my grand final, I am not going past the Penrith Panthers. There's no way I am going to deny this club a spot in the grand final when, they've lost some experience and some talent, but they've got a seriously deep crop of youths coming through still. And Stephen Crichton also playing his final season. They're going to go deep. And one of their 2 combatants in that grand final, it's either going to be the Eastern Suburbs, and you can call me biased, but I fair dinkum believe the Cowboys could make themselves a grand final appearance in 2023. And oh man, wouldn't you all bloody hate the sight of that, fair dinkum? Look, I'm going to go quickly into the comments section. We've got Nick from Australia. We've got Jason Reader still hanging on. We've got Will. We've got National Sports Loaded. Hi there, bro. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've enjoyed Wobblin' me jaw about this. This has been the Wobblin' Jaw show on the Wobblin' Jaw Sports channel. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. If you are a regular, thank you again. See you guys on the next episode. Rugby League is back for 2023. Let's freaking go. Let's get it. Adios. Go Cowboys, by the way.